a huge weight on me. You know, as I gained weight.
So did you continue?
You progress back, yeah.
Yeah, did you continue strength training at least through your third pregnancy to where, you know, you could kind of come back after a little bit, maybe like quicker or recover a little bit more and your body was a little bit more prepped for that delivery? Would you say so?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say every time you recover from anything. So I've had surgeries and now I've had pregnancies, and I would say that they're on the same ballpark for sure. Okay. So that's where a lot of people misunderstand. Like when someone has said they had a baby, look at them like I went through a big delivery, you know, like a big surgery, you know, like they went through that. So like each time I came back, the biggest thing you have to remember is your body is broken from that, or cut or changed in some way. Okay. So the way your brain thinks and sends those nerve systems that used to be there to control everything are no longer where they used to be.
It's like damaged, right?
Yeah. Okay. So as long as you can turn on muscles, the sooner you can turn on muscles from a surgery, or like I said, whenever you change anything, the sooner you can do that, the better recovery you're ever going to have. So for me, going into that third pregnancy, I was already like talking with people and like getting my physical therapy and all of that ahead of time.
Yep.
So that was what I did differently. I did like proactive a lot more of this. And in the CrossFit world and that fitness world, I said it opened me up, became a level 1, you know, I was programming, doing all of that. The competitions were, I think I do. And I definitely do remember that competition because that was a really hard one. It put a lot of effort into.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah. It was a good time.
So hell, it got you to
That's how
cross over to
got
that.
Over
yeah.
Dogfight.
Yeah. So,
definitely.
You know, I mean, like I decided then, like, so that's when I had the pregnancy. And then I knew I had to get surgeries after that last delivery. My body had 3 pregnancies, small abdomen, man. You're going to have damage to that core. You're going to have some tearing and muscle separation and everything. So got that all recovered. So when you have the muscles activate and those nerves, that's going to manage your workout. Now, the hardest thing to balance is not only turning on those muscles, but not fatiguing them or doing damage to them while they are in recovery.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a whole new aspect of what recovery looked like and how to apply that. And it has been the most humbling experience I have ever did, and where it wiped it all. And so when I said earlier how I kind of lost spiritualness, where I started getting dark, this time things from the pregnancy, I think some of the medications and the other things I had been trying that were in my life from delivery, things were getting rock bottom. Like I was physically recovering okay, but then all of a sudden I would just be down for the count. And it just kept seeing that one thing came into another. And so mentally, like I said, I think that's where we don't talk about some of these things.
No, you're fine. No,
it started getting pretty dark. And I, again, you know, like this is the third hit, you know, of like, I think my life. And I finally feel like for everything I knew about fitness, how to recover, how to do all this, I felt like I knew nothing. So I went this part. I knew it was getting bad. I decided to get rid of all my clients, take care of my home life only. Like when I had surgery, I don't know I'm going to come back. I quit my job. I was no longer I couldn't program. And I had to get these surgeries. I walked into the door a week before and said, Matt Newman. I was like, dude, I know you're the only one I really like trust to take this on. I don't think I have the mental capacity to like program my own recovery anymore. Like give it out of my hands. Like I said, I felt like I knew nothing because every time I'd gotten to the point or gotten to where I thought I was going to feel happy. Again, check marks. Why do we keep doing this?
Why do we follow this path?
So this time I remember taking like a Epsom salt bath. Everything was just hurting. I was recovering. And I think I just started hysterically like bawling. And that moment where I was like, opened my heart up to like God. And I realized like he'd been trying to be more in my life. Yeah. So I got the surgeries, started recovering from a few things and started that. And then that was mentally, like I said, started to become a lot more spiritually aware, like where I realized I hit rock bottom. I told my husband, I was like, mentally, something's not right.
Yep. And so
I see myself and it's not me and I can see it outside of it. And I'm saying and doing things I would never have done normally.
I think that's a lot of courage to actually go up to your husband and say, I am not like the same person that I was before all of this journey.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they don't do that. And I think that can definitely hinder relationships. And that's where people start fighting and they start arguing and change is happening. And to be able to know that if I don't change, this dark path is going to continue.
Yeah.
And you know, to be able to have, like I said, have that courage to be like, we need to figure this out to improve this home life. So that way you're not coming home and it's like, great, she's acting up, the kids are acting up,
there was
job was horrible. Like, you know,
huge arguments
like
upon all of those things, you know. I felt like nothing made me happy anymore. I wasn't, you know. But yeah, so he decided, he was like, okay, let's get the doctor. Let's start running labs and tests. So I went to my GP, you know, and started doing some things, and we ran the normal labs. Everything kind of came back with a normal. Some stuff would be like on the range, you know, but they're like, oh, but that's fine. That is how most modern medicine, when they read labs, that's what they see.
Yep.
And a lab is only as good as the person that knows how to read it. And all the little markers, all those marker variables matter.
Yeah.
And so I kind of realized I had to become my own doctor. But he prescribed me Lexapro. He gave me a couple options. He did. There was one that Buspar, actually, I tried. And that one you can like take as needed almost. So I would take that before, he was like, before times you know you have anxiety. I'm like, oh okay. So he at least started looking at time, like as far as I look as a functional, like medicine, like he did pretty good, but he still only worked within the realm of what insurance companies and everything allow. So yeah, I was prescribed things, and that helped. It helped me like talk to my husband about like what I was really thinking, you know, because when you change, you have to change with someone when you get married, like, and you have to let them, and they have to fall in love with the person that you're changing into, you know? So no, honestly, I have an amazing husband.
Yeah.
He's so cool. He's the first guy that like saw through my bullshit after my dad died. And like first person he asked me was 6 months after. He's like, what's that like? And I'm like, okay, it's fine.
You really want to know? Here it comes.
You know? And I go, oh God. Like, and it just,
it's happening.
Yeah.
It's really happening.
Yeah. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And he saw it all and was cool. I'm like, I
might
just
be
showed a part of you that like, I've never shown anyone, the dark shit. And you're cool with it.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's, to find that.
I know.
That's awesome.
So I think that was the moment when I knew. I was like, oh, he might be... I figured, like, you know, skip to the worst. Skip to the worst. Show them your bullshit. And if they're cool with it, then, you know, I don't know.
No,
that is not good advice to landing a husband at all. But
I mean, as long as he does this and that, it's fine. You know?
Yeah.
If anything, just go on sugardaddy.com and just get you one of those. No, but so recovering from, you know, like you said, you were with, you know, that prescription, and then something wasn't working, and then from having conversations, you're now going with that a little bit more holistic. And how has that like journey transition been? I definitely want you to come back and talk about that route. So what I'm asking is just the journey of realizing there is a different path.
Yeah.
And it's not as traveled as much as people probably could be going to kind of get to that wholesome person.
Yeah, I think there's a place for medications. Okay. I am not against them at all. I am 100%. If I wasn't given that prescription, I was on it for 6 months, I wouldn't have been able to see the clarity of understanding where my lifestyle got me to where I am today.
Okay.
I think the people that won't admit this, and I mean this in the nicest way, and this is the best advice, and I almost have to say this to most of my first clients when they come on with me, which I am back to having clients now, which like I said, awesome. Things have been a full circle. You're only where you are today from the bullshit choices you made. Some things are good consequences, but they are all consequences from the choices we made. Now, you might be living in consequences that maybe your parents made.
Yep.
Maybe that's lifestyle. Maybe that's things that you never have thought of doing anything completely different before. So I think that's where I started to understand that there is this whole world of equal medicine that's out there that is not even tapped into.
Yes. Yes.
And so I learned to kind of, how do I still live in America and live a normal lifestyle mom, you know, and having everything and finding that. And the medication gave me the clarity to be able to do that. Now going off of it and with the withdrawal, that was honestly what pushed me more into the natural state, because when you take a medication or you put anything into your body, you're a chemistry set.
Yep.
Just like in chemistry, I mean, literally acid, vinegar, you know, your acid and your baking soda, you know, makes it like you change some of those things. You can see how chemicals on a basic level do.
Yeah.
So you're playing in a ballpark where, we think, oh, this one changes. But what you don't think is that the gut relies on this communication for your serotonin to be here, because then that will get as much of the bacteria that it needs to balance. So they're playing modern medicine is great under a microscope.
Right.
But unless you ever look back on that picture from the way far back and look,
Like taking
this
a
caused
step back.
this. Yeah. And like I said, my choices were other medications, birth control thing. You know what I mean? Like when you start really diving into the choices you made,
Yeah.
you can make a choice to not do that though, which how is cool is that we have the freedom and God has given us that will to be able to do this and those. But everything we do has a consequence. And I try to go with the one that has the least amount of consequences.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's a holistic point because it's designed for our bodies to take, like food. Most of food is medicine.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's been, like, you can tell with certain foods you eat, it's like, oh, I'm a little bit more bloated, or no, I felt really good this day. What did I have? You know, I think just people when they're cooking or they're picking out foods, they just don't realize, like, this could be harmful. But it tastes good, but what is really inside? And it's this, and this. Oh, there's the actual natural ingredient on, like, you know, the 6th, 7th ingredient. Oh, yeah. And it's just people just don't realize that. Mm-hmm. And so my last thing for you, like I said, I definitely want you to come back on because we could definitely have a lot to talk about. As you are into this coaching path of going into holistic, how are you integrating that with clients and even your daily life of, as you're learning, are you kind of realizing,
my path is completely changed. I tried to launch like what I thought was like what I wanted even last year.
Okay.
And it got during COVID. I mean, that was a great opportunity. I picked up some clients and trained, you know, with group.
Yeah.
And I did see where my flaws were, you know, and things where I didn't enjoy as much, you know. And then this route, I decided to like start over. It's never starting over when you realize the mistakes you made. But this, I decided to relaunch more from like a minimalistic view up of like, okay, like if anyone wants to make a change first, like with anything, they have to be able to strip things away.
Yeah.
Because more than likely you're here because you're trying to do too much because you can't balance your own body. You can't balance you don't know how to talk to your body. You know, you don't know the feelings. So it's so weird. This group of people that I chose to pick out between this time around is more of my feelers, the feeler clients, right?
Yeah.
But it's because they want longevity. I'm now more of that longevity route. I've had enough scares of trying to get really fit, trying to lose weight, doing things to my body, you know, to try to fit what I thought I was going to be. Yep. So I think you have to be open enough to like know that you're going to change.
Yeah.
As a like each client I take on changes me.
Yeah, because you feel like you're learning from other people.
Completely.
Always a
so
student.
It's opening that opportunity. I say that from the very beginning. Yes. Like, look, I don't know everything. I know a lot of people. And I probably, or I know a lot of stuff. And if I can't find the answer, I'll probably get excited and try to find it, or I'll point you in the direction of who to go after that. And I'm completely okay with that. That's something I just kind of set out from the board. Like, I'm not your trainer to be here for you every day. I want to train and coach you, mentor you to be a functional after my program. You then can take this program. You should be able to repeat this program 3 or 4 more times because that's really what you do need. And then you can come talk to me while you're doing some of that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like if you have more issues. So I really like the more of the like push them along. Like, look, you're going to grow. You're going to change. You're not just going to sit here and do exactly what I told you to do and be a good little puppy.
Yeah.
I want you to grow and
Puppies grow.
I want you being a big dog.
Yeah.
You're going to go out in that world. You're going to kick ass. You're going to, love every aspect of your life, because it all matters. But that's the biggest thing. So it's a little bit of therapist. It's a little bit of, figuring out like those niches of like, oh, well, you're eating this and 2 hours later you feel this. You know?
Definitely.
It's learning how to talk and communicate to the body is really
I think a lot of people don't realize they're definitely not listening.
No, it's complicated. I mean, you look at like biblically, you look back at like some people, like you look at Moses, he didn't even start any of that till he was 40.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he lived to like 150, I think what the Bible says, or something more than that. But like still, like
it just, do you think like the sooner you can kind of tap into even yourself,
it all unlocks.
It will just kind of come out and be able
and that
to...
tapped in, like I can only say it like from a spiritually side that we are all inhabitants of a body.
Yeah.
What moves that, what grows it, has its own language, has its own feeling, has its own essence that you have to honor. And every single person is unique.
Very much.
Very unique. I like to special in bio-individuality. Like,
that's a big word.
I know, right? It kind of sounds fun when you say it because like it's a term we definitely say when it's like biologically.
Yeah,
you are
science, yeah.
Yeah, science-wise, you are an individual person. I can't tell you why these cells are combined the way they are, your DNA